Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about how to roam effectively. Now the first thing that you need to know in order to roam effectively is how to generate roam windows. Of course, theoretically you could roam whenever you want, but you want to minimize how much you lose by leaving lane. And so the main way we can do this is by crashing a wave into the enemy tower, thereby denying the enemy a wave to use that they could potentially dive your ADC with, and it also causes the following waves from the enemy side to push into your ADC, who can collect them relatively safely by themselves, and then we can go off on our roaming adventures by losing as little as possible. The main focus for this video is going to be when we are on these active roam windows, how to find success with them. So let's jump straight into some examples. Now for this first example, we are the Bard, and what we are going to be doing is approaching from fog. It is very important when you're roaming to be a fog warrior, embrace the fog, deny the enemy team information as to your whereabouts. Now, we don't want to just immediately go, right? We want to wait until the enemy is actually out of position and wait for us to have follow-up as well. If we just immediately portaled through right now, we took our E through here, then our jungler, who's, way down here, he's not going to be able to follow up. Our mid laner, who's way up there somewhere, they're not going to be able to follow up. And also he is quite close to his tower still. And so I'm waiting, I'm being patient, and then he's extending far up now. And so he is displaying body language that he wants to ensure that he crashes the wave into our tower. He's well out of position now. My teammates are within range to follow up, and then I'm going to pull the trigger, and only then. Okay, we're jumping forwards a little bit here, and there is going to be a similar situation. I want to make sure that I'm in fog. I'm not showing unnecessarily, and if they're out of position, I'm going to pounce. If they're not out of position, I'm not going to pounce. I decide that the Renekton is not out of position, right? So I'm not just going to sprint into the middle of the lane and then donate the enemy team free information to my whereabouts. That's going to make my entire roam window so much weaker. You need to stay in fog. You only get one shot at showing on the map with your play. Otherwise, the gig is up. They know what you're up to. They can punish bots. They can respect your position. So we got to make it count. And that's all that happens. I don't show because there's nothing to achieve. For this next example, we are playing the Sona, and even on supports that traditionally don't roam much like enchanters, you can still achieve something with your roam. You don't have to kill the enemy mid laner. What you can do is you can poke them out, you can force some cooldowns, you can help your mid laner shove and base, or you can delay the enemy mid laner's base, or you can clear wards and vision around river, or you can provide vision for your mid laner. There are so many things that you can do. And we're just going to get an example of one of those things shortly. So we've crashed the wave, we've based. We have a bit of time just to poke our head around mid and see what's going on here. I also notice that my jungler is actively pressuring the map, so there's an even more, bigger incentive for me to link up with my jungler and play around mid on this window. I'm going to stay in fog, and I'm not going to show unless necessary, or if I think I can achieve something. And then I notice Zed become very aggressive. He W's forwards, and then he ults onto my mid laner, and then of course I'm going to help out as much as I can here. And even with the Sona, we're able to get a kill. Now, even if Zed didn't hard commit to killing my Ori here, I can help my Ori potentially shove and base. Right? She's starting to run a little bit lower on mana. If she wanted to, I can just link up with her and shove the next wave out of base, and then give her a nice neat and tidy base timer. Don't be deterred by having low kill threat mid laners. You're either going to have kill threat mid, right? You're going to have these assassins, or you're going to have setup, or you're going to have a mid laner that wants to flourish in the 1v1. And so that's what you can allow them to do. Every champion is going to do something. And so when you have these immobile mages in the mid lane, allow them to dominate 1v1 and take pride in the fact that oftentimes you're not killing the enemy mid laner, but you're allowing them to absolutely dominate and outscale. Moving on, and this game we are the Rakan. And I'm going to be roaming from base. We got that bot wave crashed, and I'm just going to be kind of gathering info and sizing up my options on this window. I see what's going on up here. I'm thinking if I should pass to that or not. If the fight extended, if they kept fighting down into my jungle here, then of course I'm going to match and I'm going to move up there. I see that the fight is, it's finishing up. They're peeling off, and so there's no point for me to just sprint to that fight anymore. But it is a really good habit to get into. If you see action, start moving towards the action and then think later. Assess while you're on the way if there's anything to be done there. So nothing to be done over there, and so I'm going to be pathing towards mid instead. And then Like I said, we've gotten the bot wave crash. There's not much for me to achieve down bot. And if there's something for me to achieve around here, I'm going to do it. And there absolutely is. I noticed that the Lux was trying to shove in base. So I'm gathering information. I don't have my camera on my champion unnecessarily. I want to see what's happening. I want to see the wave states. I want to see spells used. I want to see the conditions of everyone. And then that's exactly what we see here. It's quite evident that the Lux is trying to shove and then recall. And then my Akali, she's going to be preoccupied with just catching the wave under her tower. So I'm going to go and be annoying. I'm going to go and cancel the enemy's recall. And that's achieving something, right? That's going to really help out my Akali. This could even lead to Lux missing an entire wave under tower if she bases, or losing the 1v1 shove now, or us getting a skirmish or a neutral objective. So great, job done. There's nothing else for me to do. I'm not going to just hang around and hope for the best. I've cancelled her recall. If there was nothing to be achieved on this whole window, I would just path bot instead. But you can see I was looking at that skirmish unfolding near top river. I assessed the information. I was looking at mid wave and the condition of the enemy mid laner. I assessed the situation and I made a decision. Jumping a little bit forwards in this game, and we are going to be beelining towards the action. We see on our minimap here that there is a big fight going on, and I just want to get there as soon as possible. It's hard to assess if this is going to extend towards us or not, so rather safe than sorry, move there and then see how it turns out. We're even getting Nocturne ulted, but I'm still sprinting there. I'm not happy with the fact that the fight's over. It's still going on, it's still going on. I'm getting there as fast as possible, even Wing several times towards the action. And you can see that my camera is on the fight, right? I don't need to just be looking at my champion the whole time. I want to see people's health. I want to see what abilities are being used. And then I get to pounce on this and maybe keep someone alive and get a kill that we otherwise wouldn't have. Great. All right, this game we are playing the Alistar, and there is going to be a fight that breaks out in our topside jungle. I am gathering information. I'm starting to sprint there. And only when I'm happy that there is nothing more to be achieved, then I would path away. But I see Rell on the minimap again, and then I'm just going to really try to get here as fast as possible. And then it's just going to come down to execution. We're not going to talk about that too much. I just want to help you guys find successful roam windows so that you're in the situation to press your buttons well and get something done. So we're going to fight here. And of course, I'm going to heavily impact this fight. Get a kill there. And I end up greeting on the back end here. I really want to give the kill, but unfortunately, my teammate dies. And then it gets a little bit hairy on the back end. But this fight ends up extending quite a bit. Okay, cool. This next example is going to be crystal clear how important it is to stay in fog and to deny the enemy team information. So what's going to happen here, I'm going to be pathing towards mid, and I'm going to be a bit creative here. I don't want to path towards bot side of mid because that is the most common location for wards to be. I want to be a little bit more creative and gank from top side and make sure that I'm in fog, and then maybe we can get something done. Because I'm either going to show on a bot ward, and then I'd have to use my sweeper or my pink if I had it, and then sure, I would deny their vision, but they know that I'm around, and it's very unlikely I'll get anything done on that window. So I'm going to be quite ambitious on this window instead. And then you'll be able to see really clearly, if she's out of position, I will go. If she's not out of position, I won't go. No point in just running at her right now. We're going to get nothing done. I'm posturing, I'm staying in fog, and then either the Akali is going to try to all-in my TF and then I'll pounce on her and kill her, or the enemy team is going to try and gank my TF and then I can counter gank and get something done as well. And then I decide that, my TF is just kind of shoving mid-wave, right? He was just shoving mid-wave, and I decide, okay, there's probably nothing happening. I'm just going to move back towards bot, but in fog. And then as soon as I make that decision and I'm staying in fog, and you can see that I'm pathing around the vision line of the minions. I'm not just beelining it straight through the lane right here. I will get spotted, right? I'm going to go around here and dodge, the vision field of the minions. And then we get instantly rewarded by Akali just flash all-inning my TF, and then I'm right there and we get the kill. So I want to conclude this video by just talking about the concepts now that we've had a look at some examples. stay in fog. Deny the enemy team information of your whereabouts. If you show unnecessarily, that can mean that your play is going to fail, your ADC is going to be under a tremendous amount of threat. The gig is up. So this concept is, if you show, then understand that the gig is up. It's going to be very hard for you to achieve something consistently if you have shown on the map. If you've cleared a ward, or if you thought they were out of position and then you walk at them and then they're not, the gig is up, move away, go back bot, generate another roam window, go back to fog, and just embrace reality. Don't waste too much time. The next concept is to deny vision versus to make a play. So you're going to have to choose between really trying to stay in fog versus making sure that you have fog with which to roam in the future. That can be up to you. You just want to feel it out. Sometimes you want to just clear some vision because you don't have the highest chance of getting something done right now. Other times you really want to get something done right now, and you can be really creative in finding a window of fog to do so. Also, like we talked about, you don't have to kill the enemy mid laner to have a successful roam. And it's not going to be the most satisfying feedback, but you just have to have faith that that's going to go a long way. Sometimes you don't have time to shove first, or you don't even have the option to shove first. And then we'll have to make a decision whether it's worth to roam or not. The later the game goes on, the more comfortable you are in just leaving bot on an island and getting things done. And then make sure that you are moving towards action as your first instinct. And then you can think while you're moving there if it's worth committing or not. Thanks for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed. Big thank you to all of my Patreons over here. I really couldn't do this without you. The links for coaching, for Patreon, for my School of Support Discord server, for socials, they're all going to be linked in the description below. Any and all support is greatly appreciated.